Well, hi there. My light fell down. What we got here? We got a bag of people here. Jeff Fairchild's here. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Who else is here? Stephanie Boyle, Greg the Guppy Guy, Sapper Dad from Gulfport, Mississippi, the G-Man. G-Man here. Hope you get the chance. Check out my short just for you. Thank him 100% his prime. I will do that. Post a link to it. Jeff Fairchild, Stephanie Boyle. Someone sleeping again. Well, no, I was not paying attention to the clock. Kyle Cooper, Polar Bear. Hello, Bear. Randy Cock, Ghost in Data, Sup Fish Dude. Love your channel. Thank you. And High Rise. Hey, High Rise. Hi, guys. Nice to see you all. We'll pop a few more people in. We're up to 25. Coming along. I need to glue myself in here. So I don't go clacking. Nothing worse than clacking. Or getting paste on your lips. Oh, God. Unreal. Oh. Losing my light here. Ugh. It's twice I've dropped it. See if we can go for a third time. I think the screen is not straight is the problem. Let's see if I can fix it. I don't know if I can fix it or not. Well, that'll have to do, won't it? Let's see. All right, here we are. I'm home. I've been doing these at home. Let's see. I'm on Thursday night now at 8. I think I need to move it up to 7. 8 seems to be a complicated time for me. I have a hard time hitting it right. At 7, I'm ready. And then I sit around and wait and I get distracted or fall asleep waiting. I think I'm going to start at 7 next week. It'll just work out better for me. The light won't stay out. I wonder if I could put it somewhere else. I don't think so. I don't know what the problem is here. I've got it perched on top of the screen is the problem. And the screen apparently ain't straight. If I don't touch anything, it'll be fine. All right. Anyway, let's see. Kimco Super 9 Polar Bear says my aggression is calmed down to normal. It took 5 days of not freaking out and to just let nature of fish calm down. And they did honestly pretty quick instead of continuing keep being aggressive. Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's I think keeping fish the way we're doing it is probably a more difficult discipline than mucking around all the time. Because if you're mucking around all the time, you're making yourself feel busy and active and doing something. Not that it works. It doesn't need to work. It just needs to feel, busy. The problem with that is that you screw up. And when you screw up, then you get frustrated and angry, which makes you and you wind up quitting the hobby. or getting angry at other people who are telling you you're screwing up all the time because you can't live well enough alone. It's a discipline. And I think the discipline is learning how to be at peace. I think that's why I do this, because I've struggled with that throughout my life. And it's only been in the last 10 to 15 years, since I hit about 70, that I realized there's no advantage to anxiety. There's no advantage to stress. There's no advantage to feeling overwhelmed or feeling like I gotta do something. There really isn't. The most advantageous thing is to be a guru, you know, is to be a is to be a monk and meditate and be at peace. And the difficulty with this system is there are too many people who really don't want to be at peace because they're too angry to allow themselves to trust anything. I think that's where the trolling comes from. What I've noticed about trolls is that 99 out of 100 of them are not really trying to come to an understanding of anything. They're just trying to be as crude and as mean and as hard and as nasty as they can be. That's their goal. Their goal is a destructive goal. And when I see that for the last 10 years, when I see that that's where the person is, I simply cut them off. I just ban them from the channel. There goes the light again. Shall I do without it? How is it without it? Cinnamon Girl's here. Is it worse or better? There's with the light. It's better with it. If I cannot touch anything, it won't fall down again. I wonder if that really is crooked. Let me see if I can straighten this out better. I don't know that that's the problem. It didn't do this last week. I don't know. Cinnamon Girl. Jeff's asking if B has been in the mountains today. Christian's here. Hey, Christian. Yvette Williams is here. Adam Armbruster is here. Yodaism. Yodaism, right. Yeah, kind of. I think so. I think the message of Yoda is to, to realize that discernment is a function of overcoming one's emotional condition. And that's very difficult to do because as physical creatures, we're driven by the experience of our physical body. Becoming an old man or an old woman, for that matter, really does help in that respect. If you can maintain some kind of health, some kind of pain-free existence. Part of the difficulty is that a lot of people wind up in pain. I'm not in pain. I'm uncomfortable in a lot of different environments. Fortunately, this is not one, and sleeping is not another. And eating is not another. So my favorite environments sitting and talking, eating, sleeping, and playing with my fish do not cause me any pain or any particular stress. And I enjoy them. So my it's not that there we go. It's not that I overcome my emotional life. It's that I maintain or try to maintain um, positive emotion, joy, love, warmth, happiness. And that's, I mean, we all have issues in our lives that bring us grief. I certainly do. I In the middle of the night, I'll wake up thinking about them, but during the day, I don't dwell on them. They're they're not a part of my daily existence. They're really not at all because I'm caught up in what I'm doing. Anyway, I don't know where we're going with all that. Nowhere, I expect. Where are we? 31, 31. We're climbing the mountain today. Climbing Beast Mountain. Kind of purple. Kind of purple, says Adam. What's it, purple without the light, you mean? Yeah, it probably is. Why would you care about someone's opinion if you know you're right? Well, one of the reasons would be, I don't know, to somehow try to yeah, knowing you're right. I think you're right about that. I think that's kind of the key. We get into arguments because we're not really convicted of our convictions, and so we want to argue the point, I guess. Now we know why I had to change my name, says Greg Guppy. Okay. Hello, Uncle Kosh. Doing nothing is still doing something. True enough. True enough. True enough. I live in the mountains. Christian says I live in the mountains. He's in is it South Carolina? South Carolina. Or is it Georgia? South Carolina, I think. West. Or North Carolina. That's mountains too. Yeah, that's all Appalachia. Appalachia. If you're from there, it's called Appalachia. If you're not, it's called Appalachia. The people in Appalachia call it Appalachia. I know because I lived there for 4 years. I went to college in Bonneville, Kentucky. Bonneville, Kentucky. That's in what county is that in? Barberville? What is that county? The county north of us is Corbin. Corbin County. Corbin County is where Colonel Sanders was from. Um, he was putting his operation together while I was in college, same time frame. I don't know if I ever ate in his restaurant or not, or ever had his chicken or not. I don't know. But that was before Colonel Sanders became Colonel Sanders. He was traveling around the state selling his recipe and equipment restaurant to restaurant. That's how he got started. He got started in a little restaurant, and I think it burned down in Corbin. And so he took this recipe he developed, which was really pressure cooked chicken, and then fried. So he pressure cooked it, fried it, and super, super, super tender. Um, anyway, you need a cell tower at your house. So, let's see, Kimco Super. I fixed my friend's 75 gallon without a single water change, and the system remains extremely with a lot of extra knowledge. I'm getting them to understand with your knowledge and your videos. Yeah, you know what's interesting me is how many people are coming into my shop, and I live in the boonies. I'm I'm 3 hours away from Baltimore, 3 hours out of DC. The nearest big city is an hour north. There's nothing within 3 hours south of me. I'm right on the ocean, so there ain't nothing east of me. Uh, it's a little country town of about, I don't know how many people, less than 100,000. It's a rural city. You know about rural cities. They're really country. And yet, in spite of all that, I have people coming in to shop every day who know Father Fish. They have found me on the web and they've come to the shop. Every single day that happens. It really kind of blows my mind. And I don't particularly understand it. What I realize about it is that wherever I go, wherever I would be able to go, there will be people there who will know about Father Fish. And now I'm sure it's 1/1000th of 1%, if that much. One out of every 10,000. It's more than that because there are maybe 100,000 people living in a 20-mile radius, and I've had more than that come in, more than 10. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm 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 constantly surprised by it. There are also people that come in who have never heard of me. I mean, that happens too. And it's probably about equal, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, well, thank you, Dylan Honey. Help me. The Father Fish swirl. Oh, yeah. The net swirl. I still do that. I do that all the time. And I use a fine mesh net. I like the 9-inch net. Fine mesh. You can swirl that and you'll get every bit of loose mulm out. It'll just bring it right out. Everything laying on the bottom that's swirling up. Do it for about 5 minutes. It also works really well to get duckweed off the surface because you can scoop it just with that net and be able to get virtually every last leaf. I mean, if you hang in there and do it long enough, you'll get every last leaf. Nets are not just for catching fish. They're probably the most useful tool in the hobby. You can take things out with them. If something falls on the deck, use a net to take it out. You can move things around. You can separate fish from each other. I think the light is going out. I didn't plug it in. I should have plugged it in. I think it's I think it's dying. Well, there's a little brighter. Uh, Kim says, cinnamon, I've not forgotten that. Yeah, I think we all owe cinnamon. I certainly owe cinnamon. I mean, she comes down, she brings me the most just delightful fish. And I never feel she gets stuff, and I don't think I've ever really given her money. Maybe I have. I don't even remember. I should have if I haven't. I guess I have. But she'll take things and trade. I never feel like she's getting an even trade though. I always feel like I'm taking advantage of her because Lord, we're gonna have to give up the light. It does not want to cooperate. I need tape. I need to tape it up there. I give up with the light. I'll put it down. Does that help? I'll put it down. Put it down. Maybe I'll just hold it right there. How's that? Is that better? Crazy. All right. Going on the light. I'm done with it. Who's this? Dan Hennese. Next day I put 6 black neon tetras. And all but one have died. But sickly fish. I'll tell you why. You're right. If you buy fish, if you've got fish in a tank and they're doing all right, and you buy fish and you put them in, and within the first few days they die, it's not your fault. It's the fish. You got fish that were not healthy when you got them, and they may have looked fine, but they just really were not. I mean, that happens with sufficient frequency to make it clear that fish that die in the first week or so of getting them were just not healthy fish. I think I figured out the light. Let's see. DJ Wheeler, happy to catch you on a live stream. In the process of starting a tank, according to your rec. Is it too cold to collect pond water now to begin my tank? It never is too cold. If you can get to the water, the animals will be there. And if you warm them up, they'll just spring right up. They're not dead. They're just kind of dormant. But warming the water will make them come up out of the mulm and start swimming around again. So, yeah, it works just fine. Microfauna is very tolerant of cold, particularly microfauna from cold environments. Needless to say. Right, what else? Just wanted to say thank you from KC. I need to get out of the hobby because it was always such a struggle. I was so sad when fish would die, but then I found your channel. Praise God. That's wonderful. That is a testimony I hear every day. Every day. It's just it is gets me in my heart. I mean, it really does. It's just amazing. And I'm kind of amazed myself. I mean, I just got a big order of fish today. I got a big order last week. I spent more money in the last 2 weeks on fish than I normally do in months. Because I really wanted to get it beefed up. It had kind of gone down and gone down. And I've got it up now to the point where I've got about 10 different kinds of tetras, and I've got a half a dozen species of Central American cichlids, got a bunch of Malawis. Don't have very many Tanganyikas, but I do have some and a few oddballs. A bunch of barbs, no tiger barbs. I don't believe in tiger barbs, but there are a lot of other barbs that are fine. Just a lot of nice fish. I did screw up in one case. I had a big puffer, like a nice big one, and sold it. And I wanted to replace it. So I bought this puffer. It cost me way too much money. And I figured I was getting a nice big puffer. It's about 2 inches. 2 inches. Tiny little puffer. Very disappointed. So I may have to do something with Ron. With can't think, what's the name of the name of the big fish guy. It's what happens when you get old. The brain doesn't work anymore. Predatory fins. Predatory fins. He should have some big puffers. He's also going to have 2 other fish. I want to get paddlefish, and they'll be coming in this spring. I really want to get paddlefish, and I also want to get an arapima, and I probably ought to get another abba. So those are fish I'll be looking for. I've got one arowana. I could get another one a bigger one. I just got a little tiny one today. I've got a 1 foot and it's about a 6 inch and a 2 inch. So I got a few. I should get another big one though. We found Jack Dempsey eggs on a heater today. So we now will have a tub full of young Jack Dempseys that'll be jumping up. We have Uwaru. I've got about 50 Uwaru that are now an inch. When they get to 2 inches, we'll start selling them seriously. They're only about 2 months old. They really are doing well. So, and I've got 3 batches of betta fry now, or 2 eggs and 1 fry. Brenda's learning how to do bettas, which is she's very excited about, and she's doing a really good job. She now has her first hatch of bettas, and she's kept them going for a week so far, and they're doing great. So real proud of her. And we're going to wind up with hundreds of bettas, if not more, in fairly short. By this summer, we'll be overwhelmed with bettas, which is wonderful. We need to do the same thing with guppies. We're trying to. It's just a matter of time working out really it's a feeding schedule to get them growing. It's easy. I hammered limited feeding so hard that our fish have been limiting fed for months, and as a result, our little fish have not grown very much. So we've needed to beef that up in order to get them growing. But I think it's all a process. We're learning how to do it. Show comments on stage. What is this? Can I do this? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. That's nice. I'm going to leave that up. I like that. Get to see what people are typing. Watch my weird face. By the way, if any of you listen to the theme song, I don't remember who wrote this. I think Dana did. Um, and I don't know who put it together, but my hunch is that it was Naresh because it's kind of his style. Or he went back into all my old videos from the old store and pulled out clips. It's really neat. It's fun. It's very nostalgic for me because I'm able to see the years of Father Fish, which is really just a joy. Anyway, it's a fun song. I should play it. You probably all listen to it. Let's see what else is here. Is that? I'm back. Right, I'm back. What do you feed your baby axolotls that barely have legs? Um, I've not hatched any axolotls. What I would feed them would be blackworm, little ones, and then prior to that, brine shrimp. Um, that works. Microworm when they're first born. I've got microworm culture and brine shrimp culture going dependably, and I've got frozen rotifer that we can feed out if we need it. Um, the frozen foods, I've got some really nice frozen foods I want to be able to ship out, but I really haven't figured out how to do it in a way that gets it out. I think I need to come up with a small package and wrap it in ice, or an ice pack and ship it out. Well, I haven't spent the time trying to work that one out yet. I don't want to do it in a box, but I may ultimately have to. Jordan Duckworth, a whole new world opened up. My son just said he wants to get into the hobby as well, so we've ordered your aquacredit supplement, and we're both bonding together, exciting to build a first tank. Wonderful. I had a A young man come in last week, same kind of deal. He's just turned 10 years old. He's been dying to get a fish tank. His parents finally said, well, you can get a 10-gallon tank. So he came in to talk to me, and I said to him, you're not going to get a 10-gallon tank. I'm going to give you a 20-gallon tank, and then you can buy the supplement. So that's what we did. He's got a 20 tall, which I think is a much nicer tank for a young person starting out than a 10. He'll have a lot of fun with it. That's great that you're getting your son involved. Found you a year ago. This is Allison Primo Fiore. Now have 5 tanks. Learn to be patient, just like you said. Yeah, it's the thing about nature is nature heals itself. Sometimes it takes a long time, and sometimes it happens very quickly. But nature heals itself. Even their bodies heal themselves. And believing that you're a healer, that you can fix everything, is a curse in when it comes to fish, because there's so much going on that we don't understand. Which means if we just back up and take a look, there's certain things that come up that we know what to do about it, and we can do it and it works. And that's fine. Like turning the temperature up to get rid of ick. We know that works, so we do it. Um, like using certain medications when it's absolutely required and there's no other way to deal with it. In other words, working from knowledge rather than guessing. And that's part of the reason we have the show, to give people an opportunity to be able to bring their problem before a group of people who have had perhaps wider experience, but who know things that you may not know, who can help. It doesn't always pan out, but 99 times, 99 times out of 100 it does. Learning about aquariums from people who go on about all the water changes and other nonsense makes the hobby provoke anxiety. Glad to have found your content to give motivation to start. Absolutely right. You know, the people who demand that you have to change your water every week are people who are maintaining tanks that kill fish. And so they're absolutely right. They have to change their water every week, because if they don't, the fish will die. What they don't understand is that that's because they're keeping their fish in unhealthy environments. And they don't have to do that. That's not the only option, but they're convinced it is. And they will pay lip service to, oh, there are a lot of different ways to keep fish. But what they're really saying is, my way is the only way to keep fish. And anybody who does anything else, well, you can do what you want, but it won't work. That's what they're saying. And they're just wrong. I mean, right. There are lots of ways to keep fish. There's the way that works and the way that doesn't work. There are a lot of ways to keep fish that work successfully and effectively. If you're lazy like me, you do a system that depends absolutely on Mother Nature and requires very little of your brain power. Well, I think that's probably not true. It's helpful to say it because it gives people confidence that they can trust something, that they don't have to be absolutely, totally responsible for understanding. And I think that's really the key. It's a matter of setting things in place that are sound and healthy and legitimate and appropriate to begin with, and then allowing that to essentially function. allowing that to progress and develop. And maybe that's the key to it, is realizing that an aquarium is an environment. Doesn't matter if it's a 1 quart jar, it's an environment. If it's a 5,000 gallon vat, it's an environment. And there are certain principles that are at work in it, that are at work in the total, that are at work on Earth in general. The same principles working in your tank work in every other single environment on Earth. Same principles. The notion that you can't have a natural tank is a foolish thing to say. Because if it's not natural, it's not of this earth. And you can't create, you're not going to create a tank up in a, you know, up in a spaceship. You're going to do it right here in your living room or bathroom or bedroom or basement. And it's going to operate the same way every other environment on this earth operates. So you create a basic environment that allows it to do that. And that means what? It means dirt. Here's something that's important to understand. Life feeds on life. Life doesn't eat rocks. What breaks down rocks is not living things, it's things like bacteria and archaea. They're not life. They're not technically alive. Bacteria is not technically alive. It breaks down things, breaks down living things for that matter, much less non-living things. Soil is a composite of life. It is a composite of things that have lived and died. Prior to life, there was no soil. Soil has developed as the material, the earth ground material created by life. And in it, life thrives. So you need soil if you're going to have life. Soil is the foundation of life. Soil is life. Soil is literally alive. It has an infinite variety of organisms in it that are using it and converting it and developing it and nurturing it in order to be able to deliver nutrients. It's like a soup pot. It's more than a soup pot, although a soup pot nurtures, in the same way Earth nurtures. But Earth is not there prior to life. It's not something that was created in order to sustain life. It's something that life created to sustain itself. So we put dirt, we put soil in the tank because we're bringing life into the tank. And too many people are not willing to do that. And so they'll go out and they'll buy fake earth. Fake earth. You know what fake earth is? That's the stuff you get in the store that's fake dirt. Fake dirt is essentially crushed rock or some aggregate material that's been soaked in fertilizers. That's what it is. And you put it in your tank, and the fertilizers begin essentially dissolving out of it into the water. And after about 6 months, they're not there anymore. And that composite material is breaking down, turning into mud, and the whole thing becomes basically a mess. Now, some of it now is less mud oriented and retains its essential characteristic, And over time, malm drifts down into it and builds soil in it. And so it provides a material, a strata in which soil can develop. In my 33-gallon tank, my 4 foot, 27-year-old tank, I mentioned this before. Every 5 years or so, I've got to take out substrate because it grows as material precipitates down into it. It gets deeper. Now, the sand will continue to rise in it for whatever peculiar scientific reason that occurs, but it does. The larger material rises to the surface. Seems weird, but it does. So it stays pretty much sand on the top, and the precipitants, the nutrients, all the dead material sifts down in there and creates soil. As it's doing so, it's building that up higher and higher. So every 5 years or so, I got to take a bunch of it out. Think of a pond in a field. How long do ponds last in fields? Depends, but rarely is it more than 100 years. You dig out a pond, you leave it, maybe put some fish in it, leave it, don't do a thing to it, leave it alone. In 50 years, it's significantly shallower than it was when you created it. In another 20 or 30 years, it has become a bog. So, and there are all kinds of bog plants growing in it. And within another 25 or so years, it's just part of the meadow. It's like it was never there because it fits material that's coming into it is building up the base. It's getting deeper, it's getting shallower and shallower as that base comes up higher and higher until it's reached the ground level, the surface level, and won't hold water anymore. Oh, it holds it, but it's holding it in the earth rather than as a separate bowl, if you will, of water. So that happens in your fish tank too over a period of time. You got to take some of it out, or you wind up with a bog, which is okay. I mean, if that's what you want to do. Let's see. What else have we got here? Love to listen to you. Inherited a discus tank. One fish seems sick. Would you advise me? If it seems sick, I would take it out, put it in a hospital tank, and just try to figure out what's going on with it. If it's acting normal and if it's acting somewhat abnormally, but it's eating and swimming around and shows no visible signs of damage to its body, then leave it alone until it becomes obvious that there is something clearly wrong. Fish have behavior, and that behavior may not be perfectly normal. Not all two fish of the same species act in the same way. They have personalities, just like every other living thing has personalities. There may be some that are lazy and like to lay on the bottom all the time. They're just lazy. Now, it could be something else, but you're not going to know if you're snatching it out of there and putting it in another stressful environment. Leave it alone and observe it. Obviously, if two or more come down with the same condition, then you have an issue that needs to be addressed. In other words, if it becomes a commonplace issue that is causing the fish to deteriorate, something needs to be done. That's when you get over on the shoal and start talking to people and showing what's going on, so you can get some more minds in on the project and figure out what really is going on. There's no one fix for everything. Change the water. That's not necessarily the best fix. That can create additional stress that will further weaken the fish. It's not necessarily the best thing to do. Too often, the problem is the water. The water has become foul in some way. And so changing it or getting more aeration going, more plants in it, perhaps removing some of the fish. Those are some fairly simple fixes that usually will fix things pretty well. Stop feeding. That's an obvious one. Just don't feed until things balance out. But again, you see something odd going on, just observe it. Keep an eye on it, watch it. It may be nothing. It usually is. If it's an obvious problem, then before you deal with it, figure out what it is and learn what the best way to deal with it is. If it's something that in which the fish really needs to be out of that environment, then by all means move it. If it's getting beat up, move it or move the culprit, whatever. But don't do things just because somebody said that's what you ought to do. Do things because it's the right thing to do based on the circumstances that you're dealing with. And that may take a little time and effort to figure out, but figure it out first before you jump. So if you see a problem in the tank, sit down, fold your hands, and look at it. Study it, think about it. Don't leap into it unless it's something where all the fish are gasping at the top all at once and there are dead ones floating around. Then you need to do something instantly. I would not sit back and watch that. You're just watching them all die. But that's rarely the case. More commonly, it's something a little off. Don't leap into that and decide, oh, you got to fix it. Wait and see what it is first. Figure it out. Understand what's happening before you take a step and do anything, because you will do the wrong thing. If you just leap into it, it'll be the wrong thing and you make it worse. Life. It's the nature of life. All right. I want to talk about something. Um, you guys are the ones to talk to about this. Let me see where we're at first. Arapima get like 6 feet. They get like 8 to 10 feet. And they weigh like 400 to 500 pounds. I mean, they're an enormous and a powerful fish. I've had them 2 foot, the biggest I've ever had. Christian B is a breeder of all breeders. Christian and he's really jumped up, hasn't he? Yeah, I remember when he was doing bettas. Now he's doing angels, probably rams. Yeah, rams. Crementis, I expect. Just it's amazing once you get into it. Cinnamon's another one. She's breeding all kind of stuff. Just wonderful to see. Really wonderful to see. Aquafunk feeds his bacon. He probably does. I believe him. I believe him. I believe him. It's probably the worst thing you could possibly feed a fish is bacon. Now, why is that? Why is that? Well, very simply, because fish are not able to digest animal fat. And so they poop it out and it forms a slick on the surface. That fat goes right to the top. And it acts as a seal on the water, preventing oxygen from dissolving into the water and CO2 from releasing from the water. So it suffocates the fish. So no, he doesn't. He's jerking your chain. He doesn't do that. Is frozen brine okay? Any kind of frozen food. I use frozen food. I prefer live food. It's the next best thing. And the next best thing to that is Nutripreta or cool flake food. That's as close to live as you can get without being live. If you haven't tried it, you need to. It's in our store. Incredible food, just amazing. Aquafunk says they love it. They probably do. They probably do. Here's the thing. If one of the primary foods for fish in the Amazon. Primary food is what? Some of you may know this. Primary food, other than other fish. Other fish would be the primary, but secondary. And for many fish at various times of the year, primary is what? Birds. Birds. Remember a few years ago, we were feeding chicken to our fish? Birds. Birds do not have warm blooded animal fat. They're the closest animal to fish that there are terrestrially, with the possible exception of reptiles. They're cold blooded, in other words, they're not warm blooded. And when the babies fall out of the nest or birds swoop down and well, even eagles get in the water and they can't get out. Many birds will inadvertently fall into the water and not be able to get out, and they drown, and they become a primary food source. Even the feathers are chitinous. Chitin is critical to fish. That's how they make their scales and their bones. Without that, they can't make a scale. So they need birds, fish, and link. Hello, hello. Let's see. Any advice for Betty experiencing bloat? If it'll, yeah, overfeeding. Okay. Feed garlic, just crushed garlic, fresh crushed garlic. If it's eating, feed it garlic, nothing else, just fresh crushed garlic. It's bloat is a function of bacteria. It's like indigestion. You kill the bacteria, and the garlic will do that, and it'll allow the fish to purge. Just throw a dead leaf in my 7-gallon. Throw a handful in. My tetras have never, says Mike Swirled. And Hagen says, Hagen Hill Design. Hello, Hagen Hill Design. Happy to see you. Aquafunk, I do 30.037 gallon water changes every 13 days. Excellent. Excellent. They don't need to, but by doing that, you're helping yourself overcome that old habit that you developed years ago. So you just take a thimble out at a time, or half a cup, or a thimble. A half a cup is better. You could even do a whole cup. You really could. Like every 13 days, like twice, like every 2 weeks, take a cup of water out. Yo, who's this? Bones Stamosser. It's an ecosystem. Yes, absolutely right. Aquafunks, 9 out of 10 doctors say I'm not natural. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. What's not natural is that Funk is online every day, all day. I hit him 3 in the morning, 5 in the evening, all the time. Hope you're well. I'm doing well, thank you, Lewis. I'm in great shape for the shape I'm in. I'm 85, and I've got every condition, organic condition one could ever expect to have. But I've received treatment for all of it. And the treatment is enormously effective. And someday I'll drop dead, but probably not today. I go to bed realizing I could not wake up, and that's okay. That's okay. I worry a little about the people who depend on me, but they'll manage somehow. I mean, they'll do what they do. I think things are getting a little better, and that makes me a little more comfortable. Let's see, how many gallons are you going to keep an Arapima in? You'll need a pool pond. I'll get a little one. It'll be like 6 inches. I'll put it in a 75 or 125. probably in the 125. You keep it there until it hits about a foot. Then it'll go in the pond. I've got a 400-gallon pond, and I can keep it in that until it hits about a foot and a half, just under 2 foot, and then I got to figure out what to do next. I do have I have a vat coming that's 1,000 gallons. One of these days we'll get it. Probably it'll happen when I need it, and that's where he'll go ultimately. By then we should have a lot of big fish. Takes a while to develop big fish. Who's this? JMG 4204, $1.99. Did you get things straightened out last week, JMG? I hope you did. I haven't heard back. You've changed the way I see the hobby. Well, thank you. It's a good idea to keep fish species together, that they originate from completely different natural habitats and environmental conditions. A really good question. I do it all the time. I do it routinely. One of the things I've discovered is that when you do that, unless it is an especially aggressive fish, like a flower horn or some such thing, it won't even notice the other fish. It's particularly effective to be able to do that with small fish because they just don't bother each other. It's a curious thing. I've noticed that when you put fish together from radically different environments, for the most part, they don't even acknowledge each other's existence. It's like they don't even see strangers. They don't know what a stranger is. And that doesn't mean everybody's a friend. It means they don't have any kind of built-in modus operandi for reacting to this other creature. And so they don't. More often than not, I find that's the case. There certainly are exceptions, but it's interesting to see it happen. And it'll particularly happen with small fish like tetras are an obvious one. Danios, any of the small fish. You put them together and they're harmonious. Live bears and tetras, which never see each other, like guppies. Guppies and embers never see each other in the wild. But you can keep them together and they're going to ignore each other. Really good question, Peru Malvi. Let's see. Dooby-doo. All right, here's what I wanted to mention to you. I want you to be thinking about this. Don't just kind of pop off the top of your head. Think about this. Long term, like 5 years from now, where should we be? I don't think we stay on YouTube as our primary tool for reaching hobbyists. That's where we're at now. I think what we do is create a platform, a natural aquarium platform, and promote that and invite into that. Everybody is doing natural platforms, including all of the things that we're doing. Start with the things that we're doing: the Patreon, the store, the Discord, the YouTube, all of the other platforms that we have or servers that we post videos on. Link them all into that so that people can go to a single place and find everything, and then invite other people like Phillips and other folks who are doing natural systems to come in and essentially set up shop. I think if we do that, we'll be creating a center where it'll be possible to not just get all the information and resources, but find a home. Find a place where you're going to be able to be with people who understand what you're doing, share in that, learn from that, grow in that, like an online club, only bigger than a club. We're going to start a club. I think this spring we're going to start a club, and that's going to be an online club. I'm going to work at figuring out how to do the auction through the store, which will make it possible then for people to participate in the auction online. We're going to figure out how to do it, and I think I know. I think I know how we can do it. Dave Clifton is saying, I have an Oscar with green sunfish and 29 or so wild minnows of 4 different species. 4 months later, and they're all fine. Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's amazing, isn't it? Um, I don't know how to go about doing that, but it's I believe it's something we need to do, and I want to get going on it. We're sort of moving. We're not really moving in that direction, but then again, we are. If you go to fatherfishaquarium.com, that's a site of links to everything we're doing, which is kind of what I have in mind. Um, I just want to be able to do it so it's an in-house thing. So if you're watching a video on YouTube, you're still on that site. You've not moved to another site. I know it's possible to do that. I don't know how to do it. We'll try to find some people to do so we can do it that way. Anyway, what time is it? 9 o'clock. It is 9 o'clock, boys and girls. We've been here an hour. Glory. Whoosh. All right. What else? What else? Let's see. Who says uh, ever have 851? Some female endlers. Put them in a 20-gallon cube. Can I get some platies or color? Oh, well, we have no. Shouldn't be a problem at all. Should not be a problem at all. All right. We're at the witching hour here. I'm gonna got to bed early tonight. I need to get some sleep. Come on by the shop if you're in the area. We got a bunch of new fish. We are planning to start selling fish as soon as the weather breaks. So March, April, we'll start listing fish and try to get them out, start selling them. Um, love you all. Honestly do. Love you all. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. We'll try to get a video out of this somehow. Probably dirt. It was a pretty good rant on dirt we made just too. There's a number of videos that have come up recently on substrate, so I think it's a it's topical right now, and I know I need to do it. I also need to describe in some detail the supplement that we use, so I'll probably try to link that in with what we're doing here. Maybe do a series on substrate. All right. Is that it? We all in? All done? You're welcome. Thank you. God bless you. After finding your channel, I have replaced all my plastics with organics. Fish have never looked so happy and peaceful. They've even started foraging. God bless. I didn't realize my YouTube name, JMG. Uh, all right, guys. Love you. Bye for now. How to play some. Here, let me play the song. Let me do this. I just love this song. See if we'll get it up here. Dooby doo. Right, where is it? Oh dear. I can't do it. The live stream replaces it. You know what? I can do it. You can go to video management, go into the shop. and click on it there and get it playing, and then we'll do this. We're going to do it. Fatheer Fish at Home, it's called. And here we are playing. And I'm going to stop it. And let's see. Get back to here. Bring up. What is it? Oh, right there. Show screen. Fatheer Fish and Home. Got it. Share. There. Okay, let me make it bigger. Right there. And I can make it bigger. I will do that. And I'm going to play it. We're going to play the song. Bang.
Fatheer Fish swims through the water with a wisdom deep and true, guiding us away from the mainstream to a natural point of view. His words like music to our ears, soothing every ache and pain. Bring nature back to your tank. Let his message reign. Embrace the beauty of the wild. Let your fish thrive. Fatheer Fish teaches us nature's beauty and grace, leading us to a better way, a peaceful place. His methods may be different, but they're tried and true, overcoming struggles with a natural point of view. Through the rocks and plants, the fish find peace and play. Fatheer Fish's teachings lighting up their day. No more crowded tanks or fake decor, just nature's tender touch. Embracing the balance, loving it so much. Fatheer Fish's legacy, a vision we embrace. Fatheer Fish teaches us nature's beauty and grace, leading us to a better way, a peaceful place. His methods may be different, but they're tried and true, overcoming struggles with a natural point of view. Fatheer Fish teaches us nature's beauty and grace, leading us to a better way, a peaceful place. His methods may be different, but they're tried and true, overcoming struggles with a natural point of view. Fatheer Fish teaches us nature's beauty and grace, leading us to a better way, a peaceful place. His methods may be different, but they're tried and true, overcoming struggles with a natural point of view.
Well, there we are. God bless you all. And good night.